In 2023, Oscar Piastri joined F1 as the new exciting prospect a year after his brilliant championship winning season in F2. And since then, on and off the track, he has set the F1 world alight, with some saying he has championship potential. However, with the sudden rise in form from his team McLaren from 2023 to 2024, we have seen, especially in 24, how great he can be, but also how inconsistent he can be, leading to him being beaten in all 2 seasons by his teammate and being pushed more to the second driver by the end of the season. So with the car being a championship contender, the only thing to ask for 2025 is, can Oscar Piastri push himself that little bit extra and escape being placed as McLaren's second man? So first of all, I want to go through his stat head-to-head with Lando Norris, because I feel like this is crucial into figuring out what can happen in 2025, because we need to see what negatives and positives we can take from his career so far in F1 and see where he's going to build upon. So for 2023, understandably, he got beaten by Lando Norris by quite a bit of a landslide. Norris had 205 points to Oscar Piastri's 97. That meant that Piastri had 47.1% of Lando Norris's points. He then also got beaten 14-4 on race results and 15-7 in qualifying results. Again, it was his rookie season, so we weren't expecting anything crazy from him. And in all honesty, the real thing McLaren wanted was to see some potential and someone different in their car. They got rid of Daniel Ricciardo, and he did actually perform better than Daniel Ricciardo did in 2022. If you look at the 2022 head-to-head stats between Norris and Ricciardo, Norris got 116 points to Daniel Ricciardo's 34, which means Daniel Ricciardo only got 29.3% of Lando Norris's points. A very big margin between teammates. That's not good enough realistically. Ricciardo also got beaten 14-4 on race results and 20-2 in qualifying. So overall, Oscar Piastri still was a step up from what they had, and bear in mind this was his rookie season. So coming into 2024, there was a lot of praise coming his way and people asking, can he catch up to Lando Norris? And yes and no. It's been quite a topsy-turvy season for Oscar Piastri, and I think it sort of shows in the stats. Did he catch up to Lando Norris? Not quite, but he has gotten closer. Lando Norris finished on 374 points and Oscar Piastri on 292. This is now only a gap of 21.9% between the pair. And race-wise, again, there was an improvement, 16-8. Qualifying wasn't his strong suit this season, losing 20-4. But overall, throughout the full season, you can see that he has improved. He's gotten better since 2023. And if he keeps this momentum, like I mentioned, going into 2025, who's to say he can't catch up to Lando Norris? He now has 2 years of experience in F1. He's been showing to get closer to Lando Norris. I really do think in 2025, if he keeps up this trend, he could be right on his backside or potentially just about beating him. But for now, the ball is completely in Lando Norris's court. But Oscar Piastri, he's coming in quick and he's coming in fast. And here's the thing, I want to talk about his experience a little bit as well, because coming into 2025, like I mentioned, his 3rd year in F1, a lot of F1 drivers don't get to this 3rd year. You get a lot of rookies come in, they get potentially a 2nd season to try and see what they can do, and then they're gone because they haven't done good enough. We saw it with Logan Sargent. We see it with quite a lot of drivers where they're given the benefit of doubt rookie season, and it just doesn't work out for them. And this hasn't happened with Oscar Piastri. He's shown he's getting better, and he's shown to the whole world, I mean, he's a race winner these days, that he can do it. So that isn't an issue, and he's now got the experience and a very firm seat in F1. That is another thing coming into F1 that you're going to be worried about. You need to perform, otherwise you're going to lose your seat. Not having that issue in the back of his head for 2025 is going to be a lot of weight off his shoulders, meaning he can just focus on the driving, which gives him a massive advantage going up against Lando Norris, because realistically, a lot of people, and me included, are saying the only thing Oscar Piastri is missing compared to Lando Norris is the experience of being in F1. Considering it's Oscar Piastri's 3rd year and Lando Norris has been in the sport since 2019, you can see with them being this close, it's a good sign from Oscar Piastri going forward. But then I've talked about the good things Oscar Piastri can build upon from 2023, 2024, into 2025. However, I now need to talk about the things that he needs to very much improve upon that are the negative side of his F1 career so far. First of all, he needs to get the start of the season right. Now, in 2024, he got it pretty decent, and of course, half of it wasn't even his fault because McLaren just weren't there. By the time it got down to crunch time, he just didn't have a close enough gap to Verstappen that McLaren definitely favoured a little bit come to the end of the season Lando Norris. Now, the other thing is, McLaren were very much papaya rules for a lot of it. We saw a lot of incidents like Monza and Hungary where McLaren really screwed up by not having a clear #1 driver. And I do think that mindset of McLaren coming into 2025, knowing they are constructor title holders, that's a big step for McLaren, meaning they're also going to be looking for the driver's title as well. They're going to be going for both, which means I definitely think earlier on, potentially 8th, 9th, 10th race of the season, we're going to be seeing McLaren definitely pick a key driver, put all of their time and effort into them, and then use the other driver as a backup. So Oscar Piastri needs to nail the start of the season. And like I mentioned, we saw Oscar Piastri, middle part of the season, was absolutely phenomenal. But come next season, if this is the time Piastri's great, it might be too late in the season. And there might be plenty of times where Piastri's doing brilliant and he has to give the position to Norris because Norris is in a championship fight. So he has to get the start right because McLaren's mentality has very much changed from 2024 than it will be in 2025. And here's the other thing. This is the real issue with Oscar Piastri I've seen at the minute with him in F1, is his qualifying. There's just too many times where it's just not up to standards. Race pace, he's pretty comfortable. He's consistent. When he's got clean air, he can put in laps. That's not an issue. We saw it plenty of times, especially in Baku, where he's shown, yeah, I can fight for wins properly. Put me in a good position and I'll get there. But he just struggles a bit to get into those positions. We saw it in the head-to-head, like I mentioned. 20-4 in Lando Norris's favour meant he had so much work to do on Sunday. I mean, there's just so many circuits where I can remember Oscar Piastri making a mistake and then having to start further back than he should have. I mean, literally just off the top of my head, we have Spain where he went wide, screwed up his lap. Mexico, again, screwed up his lap. Singapore couldn't put the right lap together, and with the field that close, it meant he started too far back to properly fight Norris and Verstappen. And then, in a sense, also Abu Dhabi. And if Oscar Piastri just got his lap right, he definitely could have been a pole position as well. And then potentially he wouldn't have been in that spin with Verstappen. So in 2025, he really needs to focus on his one lap pace. So I think all in all, what I'm trying to get at from this video is, yes, he is such a talented driver who has so much potential, but coming into 2025, that's the issue. It can't be potential anymore. He has to be putting up a fight against Lando Norris. He has to be putting up a fight against the Ferraris, the Red Bulls, the Mercedes, every single weekend throughout a full season, and then he could fight for the championship. Do I believe he can do it in 2025? I think he definitely can. I think he's showing the right consistency from 2023, 2024, 2025. The trend is his performances going up every season, so I don't see why he can't, and that's why I have so much faith that he can put up a fight. But only time will tell. What do you all think about Oscar Piastri? Does he have it in him to challenge for the 2025 championship this season? Can he outperform Lando Norris in 2025? And more importantly, do you think McLaren, given the situation, will make him the second driver if it comes down to it in 2025? Because we saw how much mayhem that caused by not doing it earlier. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.